If you want 2025 to be different, you can't keep thinking the same way. What got you here won't get you there. The truth? Your beliefs shape your behavior, and your behavior builds your future. Want to level up? Start with your mindset. These 10 beliefs will rewire your thinking and put you on a direct path to greatness. 2025 won't reward hustle alone. It'll reward clarity, courage, and the right beliefs. Most people drift through life on autopilot, never questioning the ideas that shape their days. But high performers? They choose their beliefs with intention. This year, adopt these 10 beliefs and watch how quickly your life begins to transform. Number 1. I am responsible for everything in my life. This belief is the foundation. If you skip this one, nothing else will stick. It sounds intense, maybe even unfair, but it's the most empowering mindset you can adopt. You are responsible for your choices. You are responsible for your habits. You are responsible for your growth, your attitude, your energy, your outcomes. It's not about blame. It's about ownership. There's a difference between fault and responsibility. Maybe what happened to you wasn't your fault. The betrayal, the layoffs, the setbacks, you didn't cause them. But if you're waiting for someone else to fix it, to apologize, to change, you've handed them your power. Responsibility says, I can't control everything that happens, but I can control how I respond. And that response determines my future. People who level up don't wait. They don't complain. They don't justify their inaction with excuses. They step into the driver's seat even if the road is messy. They realize the person they become is shaped not by what happens to them, but by what they do next. Think of it like this. You are the CEO of your life. Imagine a CEO blaming the economy, their competitors, or the weather every time results didn't go their way. You'd lose faith in their leadership. Don't be that leader in your own life. A true leader looks inward first. They ask, what can I do? What can I change? How can I rise? This belief forces you to stop outsourcing your growth. You stop waiting for external motivation, perfect conditions, or someone to come save you. You get to work. You show up. Every day. No matter what. And here's the beauty of it. When you take full responsibility, your confidence grows. Why? Because you know that whatever comes your way, you'll handle it. You trust yourself. You stop fearing obstacles because you've trained your mind to respond, not react. Responsibility creates clarity. Clarity creates confidence. And confidence drives action. When you believe you are responsible for everything in your life, you start thinking differently. You stop asking disempowering questions like, why is this happening to me? And start asking powerful ones like, what can I learn from this? What's my next move? How can I grow through this? Does it mean life gets easier? No. But it does mean you get stronger. It means you're no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You're actively shaping them. You become a force, not a victim. You stop drifting and start directing. And here's the truth. Most people miss. Taking responsibility is not a burden. It's freedom. Because the moment you own your life is the moment you can change your life. In 2025, don't wish for fewer problems. Develop the mindset that can handle them. Don't wish for someone to come along and lift you up. Be the person who lifts yourself up and then helps others do the same. Own your story. Own your time. Own your vision. No more blaming. No more waiting. This is your year, your life, your... Adopt this belief, and 2025 won't just be another year on the calendar. It will be the year everything changed. Number 2. Small wins create big momentum. When most people think of success, they imagine a massive leap, a big break, a moment that changes everything. But here's the truth. Success doesn't come in big leaps, it comes in small, consistent steps. Tiny wins that stack up over time until they create something unstoppable. If you want to level up in 2025, stop chasing the finish line and start stacking bricks. Small wins matter because they're the fuel of momentum. One push-up turns into a workout habit. 1 hour of deep focus turns into a productive week. One healthy meal becomes a new way of eating. It's not the size of the win that matters, it's the signal it sends to your brain. I'm making progress. I'm moving forward. I'm becoming someone different. Progress is addictive. Once you start winning, even in tiny ways, you'll want to keep going. This is the flywheel effect. It starts slow, so slow you can barely feel it. But if you keep pushing, momentum takes over. Then you no longer have to force yourself to act. Your identity begins to shift, and action becomes automatic. This is how champions are built, not in dramatic transformation, but in disciplined repetition. Think about it like compound interest. A single dollar invested doesn't seem like much, but invest that dollar every day, and let time do its magic, and suddenly, you're wealthy. The same is true with habits. Small positive actions repeated daily compound into massive results. And just like in finance, those who start early and stay consistent always win. Here's the mistake most people make. They underestimate the power of small and overestimate the power of big. They set giant goals, get overwhelmed, and quit before they even start. Or they get frustrated because their actions don't yield instant results. But the results come after the repetition, not before. In 2025, don't fall into that trap. Build a system where small wins are baked into your day. Instead of trying to read a book a week, start with 5 pages a day. Instead of trying to work out for an hour, start with 10 minutes. Instead of writing a whole business plan, write one sentence. Lower the barrier so low you can't help but succeed. And then stack that success every day. Small wins also give you data. They help you measure what's working. They help you tweak and refine your approach. They build confidence because they prove to you that you're capable of doing what you said you would do. Confidence doesn't come from shouting affirmations in the mirror. It comes from keeping promises to yourself. And let's be honest, life is chaotic. Some days you'll be tired. Some days you'll be distracted. But if you've built a life on small, consistent actions, you can still win those days. You can still get 1% better. That's what separates the successful from the stuck. Not talent, not motivation, just consistent. So here's your new mindset for 2025. A small win is still a win. It still counts. It still moves you forward. Never let perfect be the enemy of progress. Big breakthroughs are just small wins stacked over time. The marathon starts with one step. The business starts with one call. The book starts with one sentence. The transformation starts with one new choice. Today, don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the stars to align. Start small, win early, win often. Because once momentum is on your side, almost nothing can stop you. Number 3. Discomfort is the path to growth. Here's a truth that most people avoid their entire lives. If it's comfortable, it probably isn't helping you grow. Discomfort isn't a sign that something's wrong, it's a signal that you're on the edge of transformation. Growth never happens in the comfort zone. Growth lives on the other side of challenge, stress, uncertainty, and sometimes even failure. But most people spend their lives trying to avoid that discomfort. They want the result, but not the resistance. They want the body, but not the workout. They want the success, but not the rejection. They want confidence, but not the public speaking. And so they stay where it's familiar, safe, easy. The problem, nothing extraordinary is built there. Discomfort is the price of admission for anything worth having. Want mental toughness? Push yourself when it's easier to quit. Want emotional resilience? Have the hard conversation instead of hiding from it. Want growth in your career? Take the risk instead of clinging to what's predictable. This isn't about suffering for the sake of suffering. It's about choosing the right kind of discomfort. The discomfort that leads to expansion, not exhaustion. The weight that makes you stronger, not the burden that burns you out. Let's break it down. You go to the gym and lift weights. What happens? You tear muscle fibers. It's uncomfortable, but your body rebuilds them stronger. That's growth. And the principle doesn't just apply to your body. It applies to your mind, your habits, your goals. Every time you step into a challenge and stretch yourself, you're sending a message. I am becoming more. Discomfort is a compass. When you feel resistance, fear, hesitation, that's not a reason to retreat. That's a sign you're on the edge of something important. Lean into it. Step through it. Because most of the breakthroughs you're looking for are hiding behind something you're avoiding. Think about it. That new business idea you haven't started because you're afraid it'll fail. That difficult conversation you keep postponing because it might be awkward. That skill you want to learn but haven't tried because you might look like a beginner. All of those are doorways to the next version of you. But the key is choosing to walk through. James Clear says, you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. I'll add this, you grow to the level of your discomfort. If you always choose the path of least resistance, you get the life that's easiest in the moment, but hardest in the long run. Choose the harder path now, and life gets easier later. In 2025, make discomfort your ally. Seek it, schedule it, build it into your day. Make it a habit to do one hard thing every day. Something that challenges your mind, body, or emotions. Over time, it becomes your new normal. And when discomfort is normal, greatness becomes inevitable. Here's the shift. Don't wait until you feel ready. You'll never feel ready. The people you admire didn't feel ready either. They acted anyway. That's what separates doers from dreamers. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's action in the presence of it. And here's the reward. On the other side of discomfort is confidence, pride, growth, a sense of self that can't be shaken because you earned it. You walked through the fire and came out stronger. Discomfort isn't your enemy. It's your training ground. Embrace it, lean into it, grow through it, and you'll look back at 2025 as the year you stopped avoiding the hard stuff and started becoming unstoppable. Number 4. I don't need motivation. I need systems. Here's a myth that holds people back. The idea that you need to feel motivated to take action. That success depends on inspiration, energy, and hype. But anyone who's ever done something great will tell you the same truth. Motivation is fleeting. Systems are reliable. Motivation is a spark. It's emotional. It's exciting, but it fades. What happens when you don't feel like working out? What happens when the energy disappears? When life gets messy? When you're tired, overwhelmed, or discouraged? That's where most people stop. But high performers, they keep going, because they don't rely on motivation. They rely on systems. A system is a process, a structure, a set of habits that works, whether you feel like it or not. It's your autopilot, your fallback, your routine that keeps you on track, even on the days when everything else falls apart. Here's the difference. Motivation asks, do I feel like doing this? A system says, this is what I do. And that difference is everything. Think about brushing your teeth. You don't need motivation to do it. You've built it into your daily system. You don't wake up wondering, should I brush today? Now imagine if your workouts, your writing, your planning, your learning, were just as automatic. That's the power of systems. In 2025, if you want to level up, stop trying to be more motivated and start building better systems. You don't need to get pumped up every morning. You need a morning routine that sets you up for success. You don't need to feel inspired to write a book. You need a writing habit that gets you in the chair, even when it's hard. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be consistent. Let's be real. Motivation is like a mood. It comes and goes, but systems create momentum, and momentum creates results. Want to get fit? Build a system of daily movement, pre-planned meals, and accountability. Want to grow a business? Create a system for lead generation, content production, and customer outreach. Want to read more? Set a system of 20 minutes of reading before bed, no matter what. Systems simplify your decisions. They reduce friction. They remove willpower from the equation. And that's key, because willpower is a limited resource. If you rely on it for every choice, you'll eventually burn out. Systems, on the other hand, preserve energy. They make the right action the easy action. Here's another reason systems win. They focus on identity. When you build systems, you reinforce who you want to become. A person who writes every day becomes a writer. A person who works out consistently becomes an athlete. The action builds the identity, and the identity sustains the action. So ask yourself in 2025, who do I want to become? Then ask what system supports that identity. Because here's the real magic. Once you build a strong system, success becomes inevitable. Not because you're always motivated, but because your environment, your routine, and your structure make success your default behavior. James Clear said it best. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Don't just chase results. Design a system that produces them. Don't just wish for progress. Engineer it. Don't just try harder. Build smarter. Forget motivation. Build system. That's how you win 2025, one system at a time. Number 5. Who I become is more important than what I achieve. We live in a world obsessed with outcomes. People chase goals, trophies, promotions, and numbers. But here's the secret that separates the truly fulfilled from the constantly frustrated. It's not what you achieve that changes your life. It's who you become in the process. The goal is not to write a book. It's to become a writer. The goal is not to lose. It's to become someone who honors their body. The goal is not just to make $1 million. It's to become someone who creates value, solves problems, and thinks abundantly. Because achievements are temporary, but identity is permanent. If you run a marathon, you get a medal. That's an achievement. But if you become someone who trains with discipline, shows up early, and embraces the grind, that changes every area of your life. That's identity. And identity is what sustains you long after the excitement of the achievement fades. Think about it this way. Goals are great for direction, but identity drives your decisions. When your identity aligns with your actions, you're not forcing yourself to be disciplined. It's just who you are. This is why some people crush their goals, but still feel empty. They climb a ladder, only to realize it was leaning against the wrong wall. They hit the target, but missed the point. They achieved, but they didn't transform. Don't let that be you in 2025. Instead of asking, what do I want to accomplish? Start asking, who do I want to become? Because once that vision is clear, your decisions become easier. You'll choose the workout over the couch, the book over the scroll, the uncomfortable truth over the easy lie. Because you're building something deeper than results. You're building character. You're shaping identity. James Clear calls this identity-based habits. You don't try to read 20 books. You become a reader. You don't aim to run a race. You become a runner. You don't hope to get organized. You become the kind of person who doesn't tolerate chaos. Once your identity shifts, your behavior follows. Now here's where it gets even more powerful. Identity change doesn't require a massive leap. It starts with a vote. Every small action you take is a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. Eat a clean meal. That's a vote for someone who prioritizes health. Wake up early to work on your goal. That's a vote for someone who's disciplined and committed. The more votes you cast, the more confident you become, and the less friction you feel. You're not forcing yourself to act a certain way. You're living in alignment with who you believe you are. And yes, achievements still matter. They're meaningful, they're worth celebrating, but they are milestones, not your identity. Your true power lies not in crossing a finish line, but in becoming the kind of person who never stops growing. So in 2025, flip the script. Don't just aim for accomplishments. Aim for alignment. Aim to build a self-image that matches the future you're creating. Because when who you are matches what you're doing, momentum becomes automatic. Here's the truth. Results come and go, but the person you become along the way, that's forever. Your goal this year isn't just to do more, it's to become more. Become someone who keeps promises to themselves. Become someone who pursues growth over comfort. Become someone who builds their life with intention, not impulse. Because once you lock in your identity, the results take care of themselves. In 2025, build a life not just of achievements, but of character. Because who you become will always be more valuable than what you achieve. Number 6. Environment beats willpower. Here's a brutal truth. Most people fail, not because they lack discipline, but because they live in an environment that works against their goals. You can have the strongest intentions, the best mindset, and all the motivation in the world. But if your surroundings constantly pull you in the wrong direction, your progress will stall, every time. That's because your environment shapes your behavior more than your willpower does. We like to think we're in full control, that we can resist the distractions, the temptations, the negativity, but the research and reality say otherwise. People don't rise to the level of their goals, they fall to the level of their environment. Want to eat healthy? It's hard when your fridge is full of junk food. Want to stay focused? Nearly impossible if your phone's buzzing every 3 minutes. Want to level up? Good luck if you're surrounded by people who settle for less. That's why in 2025, if you want to change your life, you must first change your environment. Your environment is everything you allow into your physical, digital, emotional, and social space. It includes your home, your workspace, your phone screen, your schedule, and your circle of influence. All of it is either making your habits easier or harder. Let's break this down. Physically, want to exercise more? Leave your gym clothes by the bed. Put your workout equipment in plain sight. Make it easier to start. The fewer steps between you and your habit, the more likely it is to happen. That's not weakness, that's smart design. Digitally, your phone isn't just a tool, it's an environment. If you open it and see chaos, comparison, or distraction, your mental energy drains fast. Unfollow noise. Turn off unnecessary notifications. Curate your inputs so they support your goals, not sabotage them. Socially, this might be the most powerful and the most uncomfortable. You become like the people you spend the most time with. If your friends are lazy, negative, or complacent, that energy rubs off. But if your circle pushes you, inspires you, and believes in your potential, you rise. Jim Rohn said, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." That's not just a quote, that's a law. So here's your challenge. Audit your environment, ruthlessly. Ask yourself, does this space, this habit, this person, pull me forward or pull me back? If it's draining you, delete it, redesign it, or distance yourself from it. If it's fueling you, double down on it. Because here's the key, you shouldn't have to fight for your growth every day. You should design your life so that growth is the default. That's what elite performers do. They don't rely on discipline 24/7. They build a life that supports their mission. Willpower is like a battery. It wears out, but environment, that's like an engine. Once it's built well, it keeps running, and it takes you further faster with less stress. This year, stop trying to force your way forward. Start designing your way forward. Want to read more? Put books where you can see them. Want to eat better? Prep healthy meals in advance. Want to grow? Spend time with people who make you think bigger. Want to write, build, train, study, serve? Set up your space to make it as easy as possible. Because the truth is, success doesn't come from willpower, it comes from strategy, and your environment is your most powerful strategy. In 2025, don't just set better goals, build better environments. Don't just try harder, set up your life so doing the right thing is the easiest thing. Because when your environment supports you, your success becomes automatic. You don't have to force greatness, you can design for it, and that's how you win.